Okay, I need to do this video. Hopefully I'll have enough time. But I've heard reference to this many, many times, and money keeps coming up. And I know that people that we need money to live and all that good stuff. But I keep hearing this verse wrong. It's Hebrews 13:5, and it says, "Keep your life from the love of money, and be content with what you have." For he has said, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." Wait, that wasn't the reference. Um, it's First Timothy 6:10. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. It's not all evil. It's all kinds of evil. And it is through this craving that some have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many pangs. No one can serve, Matthew 6:24, no one can serve two masters, for either he will uh, hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. Um, you can't serve God and money. Um, he who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor nor he who loves wealth. And with his income, this is also vanity. Um, Rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is the slave of the lender. Um, don't lay up for yourself, Matthew 6, don't lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, but treasures in heaven. A good man leaves an inheritance, this is Proverbs, leaves an inheritance to his children's kids, but sinner's wealth is laid up for the righteous. And that says, my God will supply all your need of yours according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus. And notice how it says need, not want, need. Um, so God will always supply your needs. And there's reference with the worry scriptures also, where it says, do not worry, because God will, does he not clothe the grass of the field and the flowers and the birds and take care of them and all that kind of thing. It basically is saying that I will that I will take care of you no matter what. Um, but I felt led to talk about money, um, and so this is my thoughts. Is money the root of all evil? It does drive people to do crazy things. We try to work 50 to 60 hours, even 80 to 100 hours a week, trying to make more money, be more secure, when in reality, money never brings security, just more problems, more anxiety, more things you don't need. Like people always asking you for money, having to protect it with insurance and security. It is true, we do need money to live, but we have to keep it in perspective. I know that there are references to the Bible where it says that the rich lord money over the poor, and they don't pay poor the wages that are due. And I know also we are living in a time where many people don't have enough money to live, and we think money will solve it. Um, but we have to keep money in perspective, because it's not going to buy us anything. Um, and what I have been revealed to, or what has been revealed to me, is they want us so much in debt, and so much have so much credit cards, and so much credit and all this type of stuff, that we bow to them, because what's coming is the beast system, and the beast system is you'll own nothing and be happy. They want us to be so financially strapped for cash that we will take their deals and keep going. Those that don't take the deals are going to have a very hard life, and you're going to have nowhere to go, and they're going to try to take everything from you. And that's why they're polluting everything. They're trying to pollute the land and make it not prosper. They're trying to make it very hard for you to go anywhere. Um, so so yeah, it's gonna get very bad. The question becomes, why did you Yahweh give it to you? Do you think you deserve it? Do you think he loves you and wants you to have it? Sometimes yes. He is testing you and wants you to use it to help others around you. Nothing we have should be simply ours. We should open up our homes, our tools, resources, and especially now, we should be welcoming people into our homes. We should be sharing our lives with others. Instead, we're stingy and selfish, and we're only worried about whatever. We kick homeless to the curb. We actually, in many cities, I've seen um, cops going after homeless population, like where I'm living now. I've seen cops just absolutely hammering homeless. They're not allowed in anywhere. It's like, oh, well, you're not allowed in the park, and then they put like fences and other things around garbage bins, and they claim that they're hurting stuff. It's like, okay, well, you're already dumping out the food. How's this hurting anything by them taking food that's just going to go into a landfill? Why not allow them to use it? It's like, okay, well, it's just going to a landfill anyway. Um, but we should be helping each other. And it actually, there's a reference in the Bible that says that if your relative is hurting or family member and you don't help them in some way, it is like sinning against God. So, yeah. Nothing we have should be simply ours. We should open up our homes, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait. We are told to be, in our society, we are told to be stingy, selfish, and project an image. Um, there are examples come to mind when looking at the Bible and money. One is the story of Job, who had money, kids, a gorgeous wife. He used his money to feed and house strangers and give them food and clothing so they can have good lives and give praise to Yahweh. When we are stingy, is when people look at us and call us self righteous and greedy and gluttonous. That's also why when people go to church and they see people that aren't following what they should, like if they see people and then they're out partying and drinking and fornicating and whatever, it's like, I mean, we're not projecting what God wants. I mean, if you live like the rest of the world, I mean, and that's why most people look at Christians and are like, okay, well, you're breaking your same rules, so why should I come to you? I mean, we look or I shouldn't say we. Christians look like the rest of the world. They don't do what they claim that they're supposed to do. They don't try to change the world. They're like, oh yeah, that's a great sermon, and then they go back and they watch sports and they drink and do all the things that they shouldn't be doing. Yah gave us resources because he wants you to build his kingdom and give him all the glory. Another example is Jacob, who had slaves, land, livestock, and was very wealthy and highly favored. He had multiple women. He had maidservants and many slaves, or not slaves. Thing is, the slaves is when we think of slave, we think of someone that's oppressed and that they're beaten and whatever. Like these slaves are very well taken care of. They have their own houses. They're allowed to do whatever they want. They're just they're indebted because of money or financial reasons. So slaves are definitely looked at differently back in the day. And actually, there are jubilees, and every 7 years you're supposed to release your slaves, unless there's all kinds of exemptions and stuff. But every 7 years you're supposed to forgive everyone their debts and keep going. He lived a pleasing life to Yahweh and did the sacrifices and lived a holy, blameless life. This is Jacob, that was dedicated to Yahweh. He had 2 wives, Leah and Rebekah, and many kids who became the founders of Israel. Naphtali, Simeon, Benjamin, Joseph, Dan. There's others, but yeah, Gad. But yes, there's others. But all of these were the founders of Israel. Finally, you have Abraham, who lived a life surrounded by false idols, who he destroyed and found God. He was the father of all nations, and even was willing to give up his one and only son. How many of us can say we would sacrifice our son, who was given to us by God or Yahweh? If people would look outward instead of inward, we would see those in need everywhere. We would see God-given opportunities everywhere. We need to open up and help others. We need to care about our neighbor and others who are not making it in this world. Uh, I would say just about everyone in this world is not making it at this point, except for the rich. um, we would see that just by communicating with each other in person, that our lives would be more meaningful. Most people have problems they are facing or too embarrassed to tell anyone. If it could brighten someone's day up if we would engage with each other, and I can't read my own writing, and lead them to the cross of Christ. This world is imploding, and we need to be better stewards of what Yahweh gives us. He also gives us time and talents that we are squandering with useless entertainment and sports and videos and things that won't go anywhere. According to God, we are supposed to tithe at least 10%. But it says to bring your stuff into the storehouse, and it also says to test him. The one thing that we can test him is, it's like if you give him money, that he will open up the heavens and give you treasures from heaven. It doesn't say financial gifts, it just says treasures. And that could be houses, it could be who knows what, at least of everything that we receive. Yet most of us don't give more than $5 because we worry about bills or want to buy the newest iPhone or the car of our dreams or the house, or you name it. We put things always. We want to buy the new off-road utility vehicle. I know from personal experience things don't last, and our money needs to help those who need it. You can always give more, and I challenge you to give more. Money is about to disappear, and this world is going the way of calamity. Soon we will be forced to use digital dollars and be told what to buy, when to buy, and how much to buy. This is the beast system, and you will have to choose comfort and money, or allowing Yahweh to take care of you and not knowing what will happen next. God bless you all. So if so if you stay back, it will be a interesting time. I would say the majority of churches, modern day churches, are teaching you false lies. Most that I have visited, I can't stand, and I've walked out of them because they're preaching stuff in modern day churches that's whatever. They're like, oh, well, we can't make people feel bad in here. I mean, that's what I've heard. It's like, oh, well, we shouldn't be preaching on this because it's just going to run people off. It's like, okay, well, would you rather run people off and tell them the truth now? Or would you rather tell them a whole bunch of lies, and then when they get over to wherever, and then they stand before Most Holy God, and God goes, okay, why didn't you lead like you should have? And believe it or not, in the Bible it makes reference to this, all leaders or teachers or anyone that guides or leads others is judged 2 to 3 times more harshly, because every word that we say, every deed that we do, everything that we tell people on social media, on our posts, on our words and everything, I'm held accountable for everything that I do here. Everything that I write and tell someone, I am accountable for all this. So before I do any of this, this is all written by God, and I allow God to guide my hand. I mean, I live a life where I have no TV. I have a dog, and I am in a little studio, 1-bedroom apartment in the middle of nowhere. I have no cell signal, but I get into the Bible and I allow God to lead me and guide me, and I've cut off the world. So because everything that I say and do, God's going to go one day, why did you say that? Or why did you do this? Or why did you do that? And he's going to hold me accountable for anything. If I give someone something and they misinterpret it, or if it leads them astray, I am accountable for their lives. And I I mean, I've tried to ask people to go to God and to have discernment to of the stuff that I'm giving you. Money is really, really, it can be helpful, and yes, we need money to buy things. But the thing is there's also things around our world, like plants that God gives us freely, that provide us food, they provide us medicine. A lot of the modern day medicines come straight from plants that you could pick straight off of a plant outside, and use it internally and not cost anything. So there's a lot of things that we can do that cost us nothing in order to combat what society in this modern world are pushing. Uh, so yeah. Um, but yes, you can always go fishing. I don't know you have to buy a license, but if you fish, because it's our regulations are, you can have 4 fish per person per day. So if you're fishing every day and you have 4 fish, and you're able to live off of those 4 fish, and it's able to supplement whatever you do, um, that's a really good thing. But I know that you need like lures and you need different things and you need a lake with fish. But I'm just saying there are ways that you can get things freely. You can also go to used places or go to Goodwill or Salvation Army and you can buy things on a cheaper way. You can also use things multiple times. You can go without electricity in certain things. You can turn up or down your thermostat depending on what time of the year it is. You can um, you can um, use things more than once. You like when if you use dental floss, you can use that one piece of dental floss. It's not going to go bad or anything. You can put it in a baggie and you can use it 10, 20 times until it falls apart. Or if it gets caught in your teeth, that would be a good thing. But our modern society is a throwaway society, and if you use things like if you use things multiple times, then you don't have to pay for it again. I know we need certain things and items, but there are ways of combating all this. And I know that I've been called frugal and stingy and whatever, but I'm able to live on a whole hell of a lot less money than most people. I don't live extravagant life. I don't have boats and ATVs and UTVs and have big extravagant houses and all this other stuff. I have a pooch who, who I love, and I try to give the best food I can. And I live in the woods. I don't spend money on luxuries or items or whatever. I live. I mean, I don't have pictures or jewelry. That's my stockpile stuff. Those boxes are all a stockpile because I know what's coming, and so God told me a long time ago to stockpile different things. So that's my stockpile, or part of it. So thank you for joining me. But I'm trying to do other videos and stuff. So this is in reference to money. Um, I know we need money, but we can use money differently than the way we are now. Do not allow money to cloud your judgment. Do not allow money to get you off the course that God wants you to. um, and maybe God is telling you, it's like maybe it's time to give up your money and go back to Him. There are several references to people that have given up all their money and become paupers because God asked them to, or become monks or whatever. So thank you for joining me, and this is on money. God bless you all.